In 1943, the government seized Nikola Tesla's most dangerous invention, a healing technology that threatened Big Pharma's entire empire. They buried it for 100 years, but it's back, and over 1,000 people worldwide are using it right now. When you join Tesla Club, you get your own Tesla plasma device, 5 times more powerful than the original violet ray and built to last. You join a private Telegram group where members share breakthroughs daily. Stroke recoveries, cancer reversals, chronic pain gone in minutes. These aren't stories. These are yesterday's posts. You get lifetime support from people who've been where you are. Technical guidance, therapeutic protocols, a group that actually understands. And you get access to hundreds of documented experiments, real members, real results, real transformations. No prescriptions, no waiting for permission, no begging doctors who don't believe you. Just you, your machine, and a movement taking health sovereignty back. We're Tesla Club, private science club for self-directed healing. Visit tzla.club. Join the revolution.
Plasma. It's back.
How's it going, everyone? I hope you're well. I've just been stomping around Sutton Scarsdale Hall, which is this incredible ruin built in 1724. Well, actually, if you've ever driven down the M1, you might have spotted this ruin, which is on the other side of the road. This is Sutton Lodge Farm, which of course was a farm going all the way back when it was the Sutton Scarsdale estate. Now, the last people that lived here in the 1940s abandoned it, legged it basically, packed the stuff and headed off because apparently it's massively haunted. And there's loads of like paranormal stuff. Well, I've been stomping around here, and I'll be honest with you, these might be famous last words, but I don't feel any neg vibes here at all. It's actually quite nice, if anything. Anyway, I'm going to stomp back up now to Sutton Scarsdale Hall. That is an amazing place, that is. Anyway, in these videos, I've mentioned a few times that I don't feel like the powers that be have that much imagination, do they? And I'm always saying that's why they tax ours. They tax the population's creativity and imagination to basically monetize that because they don't have any of their own. Well, when they threw the alien stuff in, I thought, okay, well, it's sort of predictable because we've known about Project Bluebeam and all that kind of stuff for a while. But I thought at least it'll be fun. Like, do you know what I mean? The soundtrack for the alien invasions can be pretty spectacular. The pyrotechnics will be cool, nice one, whatever. Well, now we've gone back to viruses again. We've done viruses. Do you know what I mean? There's no imagination. So, of course, you've got all that nonsense about the Hantavirus on the cruise ship, which obviously just makes you hark back to the COVID plague ship. Do you remember that? You had all that stuff. And also, there's so many questions about it. Like, there's loads of people on that cruise ship. No one's on their own no one's on Facebook, no one's on X, no one's talking about it on TikTok or anything like that. It's like 2 travel bloggers. They're the only 2 people that are apparently saying anything publicly from the ship. Bear in mind, you've got nothing else to do if you're in quarantine, have you? Both of them have got loads and loads and loads of followers. Like, I think one of them's got like 5-something million followers on TikTok, but they've got no engagement on their posts. And the video that they made that was given to the news outlets, I think it was given to CBS, saying how terrified he was on this plague ship or whatever, he didn't even put it on his own TikTok. Why would you do that? Like, why would you make a video and then give it to CBS News but not put it on your own? It's weird, isn't it? And then also you've got the fact that Hantavirus is listed as a potential side effect on page 33, for crying out loud, of the Pfizer, list of potential side effects of the Pfizer jab. Now I've said Pfizer jab, this will be demonetized and bloody shadow banned, but I don't care, I'll still say it. And then you've got the situation where the Times of India reported, well, they all reported, but I found the Times of India article where this lab last year, this lab in Australia lost a load of vials of different things. One of them was a Hantavirus vial. Don't know where it is. I wonder where that is then. So there's loads of people talking about that now. And you're like, oh mate, well, of course, with all these things, people are of the opinion that there's going to be loads of censorship like there was with COVID. Oh, they'll bring in censorship. They always bring in censorship. It's always the answer to everything. I'm always saying that. Whether it's war, whether it's a bloody alien invasion, whether it's a virus, whatever, there's always censorship. That comes in first, same as it was with COVID. But they don't want censorship about everything. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, no, it's not a case of they don't want people talking about these different things when it comes to Hantavirus. They want us talking about it. And I'll tell you for why. Because they control, they want loads of debate. They want loads of debate, they want that. But they want it within a parameter. So if you're arguing about whether you want Labour or reform, they're fine with that. You argue as much as you want. You badmouth each other, whatever. Because if you're arguing about Labour or reform or the Tories, whatever, you're still in the game. You're still voting. You're still part of the pantomime. Same in America. They will let you shout out about the Democrats and they will let you shout out about the Republicans. They don't care about that. They want as much debate. They can monetize it. They want as much debate as they can get within that parameter. And it will be the same with this. And what I mean by that is whether it comes from some vial that's been released into the population by whoever they decide the bad actor is, that's been nicked from this Australian bloody laboratory or whatever, whether that happens, or whether it's true that it came from some bloody bird watchers hanging about a landfill site on holiday. Imagine going to a landfill site on holiday, but that's what they're saying in Argentina. Whether it came from them, which is basically the wet market bat soups story, or whether it comes from the COVID jabs, from the Pfizer jabs. Because you think to yourself, oh, they won't want people to talk about it coming from the Pfizer jab, and they won't want people to talk about it coming from the vial that was, stolen or went missing or misplaced or whatever from this CM1. Kills the vibe a bit, doesn't it? They won't want people talking about that. They'll want people to believe that it came from these bird watchers in Argentina, because that's the official story. Well, they don't really care if you believe the official story, just as long as you believe a story that Hantavirus is real, is killing people, and is a threat. So whether you think it's, come from a bird watcher, bloody weird story, or whether it's come from a laboratory, or whether it's come from the COVID jab, they don't care. Because you still believe it's real, you still believe it's a threat, you still believe it's a danger, therefore they can implement whatever they want to implement off the back of it. You've given it validity. Hantavirus is real because of those three scenarios. So they don't actually care if you argue about any of those three, as long as it's those three. You come up with other theories that go out of that, then they won't want to know. And it was the same during COVID. Like, if you argued about whether it came from bat soup in Wuhan or whether it came from the Wuhan lab and it was released, they didn't give a toss. They didn't care. Because whichever one of those arguments you were putting up, still real, isn't it? So you still need the vaccine, you still need the masks, you still need the lockdowns, you still need all the bollocks. So they'll be more than happy for people to debate about hantavirus. Another thing, unless of course, like I say, you go out the parameters of allowed debate. The other thing as well here is, I think the reason they've picked hantavirus, bear in mind they've warned about hantavirus recently. Bill Gates again has said, there's another one coming. The World Health Organization has said there's another one coming. They always know, don't they? It's weird that. And also, they had another Event 201 style simulation here in the UK called Exercise Pegasus at the end of last year into the beginning of this year. And the reason they know it's coming is because they know they're about to press go on it. Because that's what it is. It's the same as when Matt Hancock was caught in those WhatsApp messages saying, when do we deploy the new variant? Because that's what it is, you're deploying it. It's a psychological operation and you're deploying it. You're literally pressing go on it. And so that's why they can predict. And they can say, see, I told you it was coming. Yeah, because you had the go button. I went all high pitched then. But the thing with hantavirus, which is great, and I was saying this on a couple of other shows that I've done this week, the reason it's great is because you don't know what it is. Anyone that says, oh yeah, I know about hantavirus, is lying. Everyone in the newsrooms across the world has been Googling hantavirus for the last few days. And then standing up and pontificating about what it is and what it can do. You didn't know that until you Googled it, mate. And the reason why it's good is because you've got no experience of it, because you don't know what it is. So if they said, oh mate, there's a measles outbreak on a cruise ship, you'd go, all right, that might be bad, but I had measles in middle school. Yeah, it was all right, some chicken soup, it was fine. Or if they say, oh mate, there's this massive chicken pox outbreak or whatever, you go, yeah, no, I had chicken, but I think I've still got a couple of chicken pox scars actually. You can attach your life experience to it and therefore you ain't bothered. You go, yeah, whatever. But if they call it something that you've never heard of, and then they can attach whatever symptoms they want to it, which is exactly what they did with COVID, then you get people to brick it over something that you weren't worried about. But they want people worried. And the other thing, the other element of this, just finally, because I'm getting out of breath walking up this hill, is that the answer to it will be the same as the answer to the cost of living crisis, to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which is you ain't going to travel, because they don't want us to travel, and they tell us that. They don't actually make a secret of that. I'll give them that, give them credit for that, to be fair. At least they're honest on that front. So with the Strait of Hormuz, you can't travel because, or potentially won't be able to travel because the fuel's running out. And with the cost of living crisis and the rising energy bills, you can't travel because you can't afford the flights, or you can't afford to put fuel in your car. And with this, if they try and implement and they try and push the COVID-style lockdown nonsense, we've already got people quarantining in England, then you ain't going to travel either. So you've got three totally separate scenarios. The war in Ukraine, which is what they blame the cost of living crisis on, obviously, when Putin killed Rona, and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, obviously that's the orange goblin attacking Iran for Israel. And then you've now got, cruise ship plague rats, but all three of them have the same end result, which is amazing, really, because the end result gives them what they wanted anyway. It's uncanny, that, isn't it? Mate, I hope people don't buy it. Do you think they will? I've got faith in people. It might be misplaced, hopefully not. I think people might just see through it this time, just like they did with monkeypox. Just laugh at it.
Thank you very much for watching and subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you'd like to take a look at all the other things that I do, the content like weekly shows and documentaries that I create, please check out my Linktree link in the description below.